Ahoy, you wonderful bastards. So, I almost gave up on you guys. Sincerely, I really almost did. Anyway, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I left off on final preps to get to this point. Right in there. This is a 2.2 2000 Chevy S10. GMC Sonoma Jimmy of the same engine type, 5-speed manual. This is GM's wonderful slave cylinder. This is the faulty device that's currently in my truck because of a Duralast employee slamming it. And you can see the leak point is the inside of this bushing here. The same bushing that he hit. I was more worried about the bleeder. I should have been more worried about that bushing. Now when I remove it, it'll look better. The camera's incredibly greasy and currently undergoing thermo changes. So to get to this point, to get to those top bolts there, I basically just dropped the whole transmission. And I use this wonderful device here. This is an 18 mil. These are the bell housing bolts, even the one sneaky bolt over here that has a nut that I have to find because it literally flew out. And then I have some typical Pittsburghs because these tend to break on me when I use an impact gun on them. So I went with the Pittsburgh ones, but they're swivel. See the tip there? They're 1/2 inch, but they're swivel. And I got, let's see, two 10-inch or 12-inch extensions and a 6-inch extension, literally just so that, well, maybe they are 10-inch because I think this is a 5-inch extension. It seems short for 6 inches. Anyway, so to get to this point, it basically allowed me to get to those bell housing bolts. Now, on every video, I've always asked in my head, how many bolts are on the gosh darn 4-cylinder? There's only 6 on the 8. I want to know, is there 6 on the 4 too? And yes, guys, there's only 6 bolts on the bell housing, and they're all on top because that's what they're doing. They're basically holding the transmission, allowing the transmission to hold itself, and the transmission bracket to do its job. So if you do lose your transmission bracket down there, it's in the back of the bed of the truck at the moment. If you lose that bracket that mounts to that point there, and then you take it off, it's going to look like that, one of the brackets. If you lose any of that part, stop driving the damn truck. If your transmission mount looks like crap, stop driving the damn truck and change it. Transmission mount would actually be a lot easier. You'd only have to take these bolts off, the 4 bolts on the other side going through the box body, and then you'd be all set there for a transmission mount. Simple, just keep a jack on the tranny. So let's see, to get to this point, I almost used the voodoo to escape the area. Before getting to this point, I even had to get reminded by a neighbor that I explained all my steps to earlier in the day. You have to remove the starter. It's just going to be 2 bolts, one here, one over there, and then you slide it out. And you wouldn't be able to slide it out too much. And then on the bell housing here, there's going to be a couple bolts, these little teeny tiny guys. They're actually right there, really small. There's 4 of them. And the pain in the ass is these 2 pieces here are held by 2 of them, and there's 4 of them. They go along the bottom of the bell housing. I'm going to be painting that because I'm not going to have the vehicle on the road today. But that's by choice. I still have to clean the pump after reassembling. So my entire job today, I should be changing all this, but I will be torquing those bolts down in there. But my entire job today is basically take that bolt off, take the bolt off above, slide this garbage out, put the new garbage in, install it properly without this. Here, I'm going to hold the camera very steady. See that wiggle? I shouldn't be able to wiggle like this. I shouldn't be able to just flick it and move it. should be relatively stiffer than that, and should probably not, yeah, there should probably not be moisture spots on the inside right underneath, right here, because that's a good sign that the part is faulty. All this to properly diagnose. You would be paying a mechanic $1,100 just to get to this point. $500 if he's a good guy. You know, it's just like, you know what? I'll devote this weekend to you. Give me $500. I'll get in there. If it's this part, I'll change it. If it's that part, I'll change it for you. Blah blah blah. But it's still $500. That's on this truck. You're not gonna get that same guy to do that on, you know, a Rolls Royce or Mercedes or BMW. Yeah, I'm gonna be going in here and cleaning all this old friction material and brake fluid out. And, you know, because the truck might not be rolling, I might actually remove this clutch and change it. Even though this clutch literally has less than, I don't know, maybe has 20,000 miles on it. Tops. Now, mind you, these are light miles. Low, like, the first 1,000 miles, I broke it in. So, you know, no over 3,000 RPM. I mean, with this truck, you really, realistically are shifting it to. This is very low-end torque. So, I mean, I broke this clutch in pretty well. I think I might just ride it out and finish the test, because I don't feel like the fluid did much, if any, residual damage. This is a very dry, by the looks of it from my angle on the camera, looks very fucking dry in there. So here is the tranny doing its transmission stuff on the jack stand. That's the old part still. I'm going to be changing that. There's the drive shaft. Slid it out. I put it on the two bolts very carefully, like putting glass on top of glass. That should not be on the ground there. That's actually kind of making me angry. And a couple other things. But here's the transmission brackets. Two of these holes, pick your choice. I think it's these two here are the transmission mount, as well as right overhead on the other side of my light there. Now you do got to watch out for all this stuff. None of it is actually attached, but you do have to look out for this gas line. These gas lines, one's a return, one's a main. I will be painting those. Treating them and then painting them up here before the rubber. Now, to get to these, I believe it would be smart to do this. So next clutch job, I'll probably be changing out the fuel lines, running the original lines. I'm not gonna bend my own, so to speak, even though it looks really simple. Let's see, what are we doing up here? So pretty. Yeah, my you can see everything's new, barely rusty. It's got all that surface rust of new stuff. I went with Duralast. I regretted it immediately when I pulled off the old one, and guess what? It had a Valco clutch, stock, OEM, Valco, I don't know, whatever the hellco, stock clutch. So hopefully the Duralast one, I don't know, they do good, and it looked like their premium brake pad material on the clutch. So there's always that. I'm excited to know what this barcode does. If anybody knows or wants to, I don't know, my truck's registered and insured, so I'm not worried. That's freaking, oh, love it. Is that my, yeah. All right, well, this is good information to have if you could ever find that stuff on your vehicle. The drive shaft, once again, it barely gave me any resistance at all. That was lovely. But the steps were, first start with those stupid little clips there, and then literally work your way up. Once you get to removing the drive shaft, before you do so, as in before while it's resting on a jack stand or jack or what have you. Before you do so, you want to drain the tranny, collect the fluid. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed my time, and that'll be it for today. I'll catch you guys up to tomorrow, and hopefully everything will be decent, 100%, and we'll let you know if fix my problems or not. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you stayed till the end, you're awesome. You're a legend.